I want to welcome you to the Corner Convo, man. This is episode 210. We had to pull up today, man. This is a whole new corner today. Okay, the shit that I'm looking at, shit that I'm seeing, man. The Art Deco that's going on. Okay, it's different. Okay, now this is an undisclosed location. All right, we're not gonna say too much. We're not gonna do too much, man.
Y'all don't deserve it.
But
cool.
today, man, today is special, man. Good friend, good brother. We go all the way back to the Divine days. You know, yeah. You know what I mean?
Now, man.
No, because
I don't care.
it is what it is, man. You know, people always say I got some cool friends, man. I know some cool people, man. At the end of the day, man. Let's put your hands together, man, for Lil Rel, man. Let's go one time. One time. Rel, first of all, man, you are relevant.
Whole class.
Cool.
Yeah, no, you can't even hear that. Don't even worry about that. Don't worry about that. Yeah,
I'm talking to her over here, bro.
yeah, I feel you.
We here now.
Yeah. Rel, thank you for pulling up, man. Well, I was pulling up on you, however you want to look at it, man. Appreciate your time, brother.
Discombobulated.
It's all good. Just hopefully see what I'm getting into.
He's
Some mess.
He lives so far north. When he crossed Roosevelt, he started motherfucking just breaking down.
Yeah.
It's over with, bro.
Well, I told you I only go as far as Hyde Park, so I'm still in my jurisdiction.
You in your safe zone?
Yes, sir.
You get on my last nerves with that.
It's just different, having a fellow Wasidian on the show, man. Don't happen often. Too many times we are bombarded by you Southsiders, you raggedy, ratchet, MFers. I'm tired
I'm
of y'all.
not gonna allow that.
You can't help it.
Oh my
Y'all
God.
represent every day the wrong way. It's cool. You know what I'm saying?
You are
the wrong
trash
way.
right now.
You know,
You can't
so
do that on this side of town.
it's close enough. All right.
Fair.
It's
Rel,
good to have a brother
man, we want to just start by saying thank you, man.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I'm here watching.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they go off on a tangent. You got to forgive them. But you're in Chicago, man, promoting What's Funny. I want to say thank you for always keeping Chicago on your back. And I've noticed that it's always important for you to rep Chicago, whether it's your Jordans, whether it's your hat. Yeah, that's like everybody don't pay attention to that type of shit.
Like, damn the TV shows. And stuff.
Let me get there. You know what I mean?
Like Chicago dude.
Started with the outfit first.
But we in Chicago. You know how we do, man.
We're in Chicago.
But no, what's funny, man, is genius in my opinion. Just talk to me about why you still behind it and why is this necessary for today?
The What's Funny Comedy Festival idea came from Knowledge Beckham, who I partner up with to do this. And it's just, I love comedy, man. And Chicago, I think, is like the Mecca of stand-up comedy, especially black comedians. And just comedy in general. We talking about like most of the SNL cast had to come through Second City before they even made it to Saturday Night Live. You know what I'm saying? Chicago just always been the place where comics really had to come through to really show who they are. So to come back here, it's a gang of comics still here, killing the stages. And the festival, it's interesting. If I could be honest, one of the reasons why when Knowledge told me about the festival, I was like, I got to be a part of it. I've been a part of a lot of these festivals, and they tend to lean more into the white comics, and then whatever's left, they give us in a way. Just being honest. And we're doing it a little different, even though our festival is very diverse. We have our inclusion is everybody, whoever's funny is what it is. But we lean into our black superstars of comedy, our black up-and-comers. And I think once you start that way and then go, make it more diverse, we usually kind of, and I'm just they get the crumbs of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So this is going to be bigger and better. And I think, also I think it's time, like I'm a comic, like why wouldn't I attempt to do a festival?
Right.
Or direct comedies or it's just time for us to start taking some executive positions and things and stop letting everybody just use us. So that's what I've been on, and I'm thankful for Knowledge for letting me join with him. And man, we creating something really beautiful that's gonna be here in Chicago.
I think my favorite part of it is your special is going to be shot at the DuSable Museum.
100%. That was one of the first places I ever headlined.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it might have been the first place now that I think about first theater. Yep.
You know they just got rid of that Harold Washington animatronics, right? They literally just retired him.
For real?
Yeah, they just retired him.
Wow.
They got the same janitor, though. You still there, though, for real.
Shout out to the dude.
I only know the janitor, though, on some real shit, though. I don't. Just saying.
No, but I think that's like the brilliant part of it is Knowledge came back and he had his event there. And anything that like brings more art to the places where our people are. I think it's brilliant because you're probably bringing people out to do this album that ain't never been there and also haven't been there in over 10 years or since they was like a kid, going for a field trip or something like
People
that.
forget it's a museum, right?
Yes.
Because, it's a lot of
whole
events
museum.
to have, but it's like legitimately a museum.
Yep.
And I think that's very important that, not only we do stuff in our community, but we hype up our places.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Especially a place that celebrate Blackness.
Yeah.
Well, not to tell on knowledge at all, get him in trouble. But at the show, man, we had to walk around certain ways. I snuck my way through the whole museum because I hadn't seen it in so long. To what you were saying, I forgot it was an actual museum that we were actually in. And it was still pretty dope. But when people are great at things, I think you're a great comedian. I think you're a great actor, man. Especially being from Chicago, you're proud to see the city put on and putting on. Sometimes people tend to lose the love for what they do or the passion for what they do. Has that happened to you? And if so, how'd you get it back? Or you never lost it?
Nah, this has been what I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. So honestly, I think it has enhanced and I've graduated to different stuff. Like I'm excited about the business part of it. The more I learn about the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, like, outside of doing this festival this year, I'm directing my first movie. I've been producing a bunch of stuff for a long time, but like I'm just stepping into the executive position. So I'm really fascinated about like, I want to be the hilarious George Lucas or Steven Spielberg. And that's been my mindset for the last year or so. So I've been like crazy focused on, I already love doing stuff on camera and on stage and stuff like that, but like learning the business of it has been real dope and fascinating. I mean, that's one of the reasons why like, honestly, and people talk crazy about Tyler Perry, and I've actually been one of them too, but man, like
honestly, accountability, people.
But once you
accountability
for real, and I was wrong. Honestly, I was dead fucking wrong. Like I don't know how you can hate on somebody that has this huge dream, gets it out the mud, and does what he wants to do, no matter what anybody thinks. And that's God led. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I had to check myself. Like, man, I was wrong. I was really wrong. And so I've been really inspired by him lately because I'm like, we can say whatever he wants. He's doing exactly creatively what he wants to with his money that he earned and made.
Yep.
And he know his audience. So it's like, whatever.
Right, that's power and influence.
Yeah.
But the second part of the question was this though. When did you feel you were ready? Like, when did you wake up one day and say, hey man, you know what? It's time for me to direct my own and have creative control, 100% creative control over my next project.
It's so interesting because I fell into doing a lot of stuff like that. Like when Knowledge was managing me, we was doing stuff way before our time. Like I had a talk show, like whatever idea I would have. And we were just having a meeting about the festival, and I was talking with our other partners and people that's working with us. And me and my fiance was just talking about this, and it just popped in my head one day because I think I had an idea for something, and I said, something, Knowledge never shot down none of my crazy, dreamy ideas.
That's a rider for you. There you go. Yeah.
And not even just a rider, because I mean, like, it's people that shot it down, but some people did it out of love. Like people that can't see what your big dream is, they're not hating on you. They just love you enough where like they don't want to see you fail.
Yes.
And I think if you look at it from that perspective, you won't be mad at anybody or like, I'm trying to prove everybody wrong. It ain't about that. What I love the fact that like God has blessed me with divine connections to the right people. This dude just happened to be the right person for me to get me to where I'm at now. Knowledge is a big part of it because he never shot down any of my crazy ideas. And I was thinking outside the box with nothing. And I always saw myself in this bigger place, and he believed it with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like that's a big deal when you find at least all you need is one person.
One person.
That's it.
One person to truly believe it. And then guess what? You'll start meeting the others. And all that ties into each other. That's what I'm saying. Like I not even just woke up, I wanted to direct. As I was doing all these movies and stuff and watching everything happen in the background,
hella movies.
I was just impressed with Jordan Peele. Like Jordan was doing what I was doing. And then he ended up writing and directing one of the greatest movies of all time. And Get Out.
Get Out.
Come on, man.
Hey man, your character's a hero in there.
Hey man.
Let me be clear. Like that man went crazy.
That brother wrote that. Like, let me tell you something. And it's so interesting because look, like we know a gang of people, and I know a gang of people that's done a bunch of movies and stuff like that. It ain't too many of us that can, especially comedians that can say I was in a movie that won an Oscar and a classic and made over $100 million.
Keep counting. There you go.
Not on no silly shit. This is like a classic They study this movie in colleges.
They
in
do,
film
really?
school. Yeah. His classes on Get Out.
You know, our fellow white people have just stole that movie though with this shit that Blink Twice. I saw the previews. I'm looking. Well, look here. When y'all see it, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay.
I ain't gonna see that shit.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, y'all. You can't have nothing.
No, but that's movies though,
That's
bro.
film,
Hey,
yeah.
hey, like think
I
about this.
don't like it.
We would 48 Hours of Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte kicked off all the huge buddy
Top
action
movies,
comedy
yeah.
things.
Oh, yeah.
Facts.
You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So
Yeah.
we've seen Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. We've seen Will and Marty. We've seen that's
Rank them three. Since you mentioned them three movies,
to rank them.
rank them three.
Mm.
You mentioned
Well-
some hitters, man.
It depends because now it's like Bad Boys have more than one, so you kind of just rank those really.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but you know who my favorite combination of anybody was is Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. I know that's gonna go over a lot of people's heads.
No. Bruce's Millions. What
No,
was it?
Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
That was
Okay.
my shit. That was my shit. You know, you
They went well together, yeah.
Dude,
Absolutely.
them dudes would like so. And Sidney Poitier directed
Which Way Is Up and all
which,
these things. Man.
Not Which Way Is Up, but it's
Saturday
the,
Night.
Gene Wilder and Richard. One of the first one they did. I can't think of it right now. It's
Somebody
gonna
Google
drive
that, please.
It's gonna drive me crazy.
They call him knowledge. You can't tell us.
But Sidney Poitier directed. Sidney Poitier actually the one that came up with like. It's so funny because people give Sidney Poitier shit for not being a good director, but what he was king of is the two shot. And so like it's a two shot in comedy you get when you have a combination of two funny people in the scene together. It's just a two shot. You don't put you don't do single camera. Just put the camera on both of them,
Right.
and just let them do their thing and bounce off each other.
Didn't know that.
But Sidney Poitier was doing that shit.
Hey,
Yeah.
man. Genius.
I'm a nerd, man. Like I love this shit.
Well, see, that's what I was going to ask you too,
Most
right?
great
So,
car.
if anybody that studies or follows your career, right, it makes me want to ask you: did you take or even follow Kevin Hart's blueprint? Because I once heard him say,
Nah.
That was
But
fast
and-
answer.
And the reason why I said that so fast is because, you know, me and Kev the same age. Now, Kev was popping in who he is before that, right? And I'm talking about like I opened for Kev and everything. But now, you know, honestly, my blueprint for me was Eddie Murphy, which is why I never thought about doing stand-up as just being one thing. I think that was all of us you see, if they admit to it or not, is Eddie's. Eddie did everything. He did stand-up, he acted, he did music, he did whatever he wanted to do. Eddie Murphy did whatever he wanted to do. And I thought if you're gonna do this, you had to know how to do everything. So I never thought about myself just doing comedy. I thought if I did comedy, I gotta know how to act. If I act, I gotta know how to write. Because you know, Keenan Ivory Wayans, Robert Townsend, all those guys.
Goats.
That group
Doing
is
that
the
kind of
ones
shit.
that made me say, oh, you gotta know how to do everything if you're
Right.
gonna do this. But no, I don't. That's a different blueprint. I think what Kev has done is brilliant because Kev is actually one of the first true businessmen of this. Some people just popular,
Right.
you know, which is why like when you hear comics talk shit about each other, it's like, first of all, I just hate because everybody rich now. So why y'all arguing? You know what I mean?
that shit's so corny.
People fight.
So corny.
So stupid, but you know, it is interesting where like, I'm a real one. I mean, even specifically with Katt, like the one thing I don't like about what Katt says about Kev is that you're mad at him for like stuff you basically either turned down or fucked up. They go to the
Right.
next person. That is how this
Right.
shit works.
That's how it's supposed
And
to
it
work.
ain't even like a bad thing. Sometimes you say no to stuff and then it just goes to the next person. That is just business. And so it's weird when people say shit about people and they're mad at them because they made better business decisions. And that's fucking weird to
So,
me.
I want to ask you, in Chicago is very cliquey, right?
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, it's always been that.
And
Somebody agrees. Thank you. People
Well,
they
we-
giving us fake love.
We
Like, bro, be
click
real with this.
until we lead as much. Because there's people in LA I didn't like probably here.
You
But,
guilty?
no, it's just the truth. But when you're in a place where we're all from the same place and it's just us,
It's a
nobody care
different-
about South Side, West Side, none of that shit in another city. That's just us here.
right.
Out there, we just Chicago. Like, brother, well, let's hang out. You know what I mean? We
Right.
go out and chase our drink. I didn't fuck with you in Chicago, but we best friends here.
BFF.
Like, but what I've learned in the comedy space is that it can be really bitey. Like there's a camaraderie and there's like it's family in a sense, but then there's always fighting. So you've elevated to a level that many people aspire to get to.
Mhm.
How does that feel? Kind of continue to make really good business decisions, and watching others, are there expectations? Like, how do you manage that? And coming home with this festival, how are you also kind of navigating that space of the people that have been rocking with you for decades, and then you and your newfound success?
Well, let me say this first too, like, because I people do bicker and anger, all that stuff happens and it's competitive. When everybody got the same dream, that kind of happens like that. Like, we all literally chasing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a little, you know what I mean? So once you understand that, then you give people grace too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really interesting because like now I'm at this place where like I'm I guess an OG now when I think about it.
Talk about it, bro. Don't whisper that shit. Talk that shit.
No, for real. It's just I've learned a lot and I have a lot of wisdom now. And I think that's one of the reasons why I come back. Because even me and Knowledge been putting this together and we got cats. We literally told people to submit and then you got people like, well, you ain't gonna just call me. It's like
that's the way though, man.
Well, nobody think about all the other shit we gotta do.
Right.
That's why we asked you to submit.
Or your name's on the desk. We
can look right at this
right
list.
There.
This makes our life easier because we're looking for sponsors. We finding venues.
Right.
We're doing a bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
Besides, like, ooh, let me call what's the name so you want to do 5 minutes. Like, I ain't got that type of time. And so we're asking, and we do everything really professional. I think, look, at the end of the day, I'm hoping that people have watched what I've done. It's crazy, but before, I didn't even tell Knowledge this today, but I was watching Willie Lynch Jr. on a live yesterday, randomly went to his live. Shout out to Willie Lynch Jr., comedian. And man, he was just giving me major pub, but like, I didn't even understood how much he was watching me. And so the stuff he was saying, I'm like, damn, this brother really, he get it. Just even saying stuff like, yo, Rel, like, he's like, Rel, if Rel slow down making these movies and just go back to doing stand-up, all you motherfuckers are done. And people hear shit like that, like, okay. No.
That's a big up right there.
Because I'm really, this is what I do. But the thing I pray for the God, that's like, I just want to be able to do this when I feel like it.
When I want to.
That's when I knew I made it.
Talk about it, bro.
When it was like, I don't have to go on the road unless I want to. Unless I feel like it. And then also, if they took this shit away, I can go back to it.
Right.
That's the blessing. That's why like some actors be panicking it. I ain't got shit. I'm like, look, if this shit ain't working, I'm going on the road. We on strike? Fuck it, I'm on the road.
That's curious because that was one thing I thought about on the way over here. Like, if one did leave, what would you do? But another variation of that question was, at this point in your career, are you
just
better
over there
at
giggling away?
Are you,
because it's a comfortable place to be in.
I bet it is.
Talk that shit.
Feel good,
Talk
bro.
that shit.
I bet it
God
do,
is
man.
good.
That's when you wake up happy, bro. That's a happy giggle, happy laugh, bro. Straight up.
God is good.
Is one of your crafts ahead of the other at this point?
No, I think it's all the same. Everything. I think what I'm graduating into the more really leaning to the boss of it. Like you can be a boss, and everybody like to call themselves a boss.
They do. Overused.
But until you can green light stuff or fun stuff or create opportunities for people, I don't know if you're necessarily a boss. You're a boss of yourself. You can create stuff for yourself. But if you feeding other people and their families, to me, that's some boss shit.
Big business.
How does that feel knowing that you have created a life where you can hire your own people?
Man, that's beautiful. Let me tell you something. When I was able to get Crucial Conflict to do my theme song for my sitcom, and this is the thing about it, as soon as I heard the song The Circle, which I literally used to listen to at the Circle.
Right, baby. Right. Only from Chicago, man.
Only from,
Yeah, I know
but
about that.
guess what? From out west, because some people in Chicago already know about the Circle.
Facts.
Over the west side.
Man, that was the lick for a
I
long
don't know
time
what y'all
too.
talking about either.
Thank you.
Oh,
Exactly.
man,
See what I'm talking about?
Don't judge me.
It was, I ain't judging. It was just the shit. It was like what you know when you watch Paid in Full in them stores they stand in front of and
Hanging out, kicking it.
That was our shit.
What was the parameters before you can tell you a story? What's the parameters for the Circle? People don't understand how long it took to drive down these few blocks.
Well, because there was a lot of people out there, but it really, when you think about it, like I went just to walk around like this shit really wasn't this. It was just a lot of motherfuckers in here. That's why you couldn't move. You had to park. And just, but I'm just saying, but just even that was a dream come true. Because when I heard that song, I was like, if I ever have a television series, that's gonna be the theme song. So I made that shit and I manifested that way before I had a TV show. And so like to have one of my favorite groups do my television show, even become my friends, you know,
Right.
That's even when I happened to do open my special. That was paying homage to Eddie Murphy. I didn't have a comic open for me. Crucial Conflict did.
Dope.
Eddie had the Bus Boys open for him on Delirious.
I remember that.
Well,
Richard Pryor had fucking Patti LaBelle open for him.
Big time.
I heard that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm such a nerd. That's what I'm saying. I be doing random ass nerd
Now I'm
shit.
curious, like, who's opening this time for you?
I don't even know yet. That's a great question.
He think he sing.
Maybe nobody.
Do not give him your personal number.
They could be on stage with headphones on. You doing a podcast?
Girl,
Open
you
it up.
for me.
Open up with the
Hey man, listen here. Real done changed his number
Got
10
his shit up
times,
there.
man. I can't get in contact with him anymore. But
I ain't never changed my number, which is crazy.
definitely don't pick that motherfucker up for me, man.
I got a Chicago number that I've had forever. I just don't turn that phone on.
See?
When I turn that shit, so many
That's the
messages.
one.
I'm leaving messages.
But it's there. I ain't changing. Nobody can say I changed it. Just don't be looking at that
Oh
motherfucker.
my God.
Hey, can you?
The laugh afterwards, though, was crazy.
That was diabolical. See?
It's there.
Can you talk to me about We Grown Now?
Oh man, that
And
movie.
it for those who don't know, it took place or takes place in Cabrini Green. So how did you even recreate that?
I didn't do anything.
Okay.
Shout out to our director. She's from Chicago. Minhall. She's amazing. Wrote it. Really interviewed the residents from Cabrini Green, why the stories felt so real and authentic. Man, that movie's deep, man. It's one of those movies too where I sometimes what I hate about Hollywood, you know, if that was a white story, I feel like it'd be even if it didn't do great at the movie theater, it would have got its due.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's our stories, and them two little boys in that movie were amazing actors, amazing. So when I read the script, and it wasn't a huge role, just playing the dad. And I saw Journey was a part of it too, who I love. She's so talented, Journey Smollett.
Yep.
Man, it's just, she's, it's so.
Hey, boo.
I'm about to whisper that, bro.
About to say some real shit, but I'm like, my fiance looking but it's one of those things where it's like, cause you know, so when you put a Chicago nigga in any real places, like, and we talking about real Chicago cats, like, cause we still holler at women.
Yes.
You know, these other cats, these other cities don't really be shooting their shot. Like, I shot my shot throughout Hollywood. I done dated. I done had some top notch. You know what I mean? Straight up, shit. I'm gonna just shoot my shot.
That's it.
Because cats, you put me in the environment. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. If I really thought, like, because everybody loved Rihanna, right? And I'll never forget. We was at the first time I went to.
No, you didn't, man.
I mean, I'm bragging about it, but the Jay-Z and Beyonce's first Oscar party, I went to the first one, and Rihanna walked in, and when I tell you every dude in there, I don't care, and it was a gang of fine ass women in there. Everybody started, but then that's when I saw Drake be a lunatic. I'll never forget that shit. Like, I don't know, Rihanna, I don't know, she just queen of just like, unbothered. She was just having a good time with her drink. This nigga was just losing his shit and talking to her and all animated. She was just like, I was like, God damn. Yeah, that was at that party, actually. It was just so funny. But no, I'm just saying, like, you know, Chicago cats, we shit, you know what that is. We was talking about Journey. We was talking about We Grown Now.
Journey. we understood the conversation.
Yeah. But Journey is, she's so, but she is fucking fine. But it's also too one of those weird people where you saw him as a kid.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily graduate. You just like, well, nah, we like the same age, but I like sometimes even when you first see Rudy for the first time.
I thought that way about Rudy. I thought that way about Rudy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Tatiana, like when you first see
that was
them,
my boo right there, though.
it's like,
Ash was my boo.
but you have to graduate from like, oh yeah, so when I first saw you, you was, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I had a crush on you, like,
And also
so
a
crazy.
character.
Yeah, that's another thing too. You gotta make you might be in love with the character. I mean, I've met females that I love the character, and you meet them, you're like, eh.
Really? That's tough right there.
Okay.
That's tough.
It's been a couple of people.
What's gonna set this man, this afterlife
See,
out
that's
of control, bro.
that
Man. What's gonna set this apart from the What's Funny Festival, apart from anything else people have yet to experience, man? Because I know Chicago, you come here, you're gonna eat good, you're gonna have fun, You stay out the wrong areas, you're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna make sure we keep y'all centralized, localized to where y'all need to be, keep y'all safe so y'all can come back again and again every time they do this festival.
Well, comedy is safe mostly. I think that's one of the reasons why I want to do this too. Outside, I love Chicago. No, I mean, it's tough. I mean, a lot of the festivals that were here are starting to leave because the promoters say they're spending too much money on extra policing and things like that. And that's real.
Yep. We don't do nothing either.
With comedy, you don't have the same dangers as that, honestly. And you do attract, to me, more of a mature audience, to be quite honest with you.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, I think it's just a safer environment. But I believe with our festival, it's bringing organization back to comedy in Chicago. Mm. And even after, we're done with this festival, I mean, this is the first year. We're already starting to like plan out the second year.
Is it coming back to the crib or is it moving around?
No, we coming back here first.
Okay.
Which honestly, I hope Chicago keeps us. But at the same time, we're going to go, you want to go who appreciates it. So we're going to see if the city embraces this. And I don't mean just the people, like the city, like for real, like if they recognize what we're doing for the community, you know what I'm saying? Because also it's some philanthropy work we want to do too. Comedy. That's important. Comedy goes a long way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so funny. I was just in Baltimore.
Boo.
And
such a hater.
They put Old Bay on all their seafood, Joe. We don't need that Old Bay all this. I'm sorry.
I love Old Bay.
I'm done with it. I'd rather get some slap your mom or something.
What?
Oh my God.
It's a seasoning.
Yes.
It's a real thing. Slap your mama. It's a real thing. It ain't good.
From who? But first of all, I didn't know you said slap you. You said it so fast.
I talk like do a die.
I think you said slap Muhammad. Sorry.
slap me humble.
I thought slap Muhammad. I thought you made it up.
No, man. That's a real scene. Slap your mama's fire though. I mean.
Yeah, Old Bay, man. You can't go wrong. Old Bay.
I do love that. So I was invited to do a comedy class for scientists. Right. And the whole premise was like climate change is scary. And you don't have anybody's attention if you are telling them the world is burning. And so it was a class to help use humor as a way to deliver scientific facts as well as let people leave feeling confident and good.
See, and what's funny? A lot of corporations is doing, and this is what I was about to say about the comic in Baltimore. What he did was he's doing it for children. Mm-hmm. And so this is a great outlet for young people, especially like, kids that come from broken homes and different things like that. They can vent this stuff and make it funny. Making it funny makes you deal with it better. And that's what Black people been good at for a long time. We make some of the darkest things funny. Right. And so I think doing that with young people is so important. It's therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't like, that's really Tiffany Haddish's story. Like Tiffany... It was so fun. I remember seeing this special on CBS about the Laugh Factory years ago. I had to be like 12. And she was 12, going to comedy camp that Richard Pryor was teaching the class to them as kids at the Laugh Factory in LA.
That's so dope.
You know what I'm saying? But everything she was going through, comedy is what saved her. Having a place she can vent and make the things funny that she was going through. So it's something very interesting about that. I think that's something I know with year 2 that we want to lean in is once again doing and my family, shout out to my family. They do so much stuff in the community. So it's just all this is going to play.
Like finding a way to tie in.
It's so much we can do, and I think for me is focusing on, and we all got our roles we can bring. It's always people always want you to do what they think you should be doing for your community. But I'm very headstrong on mental health. You know what I'm saying? And finding therapeutic ways, because a lot of kids are actually grow up too fast. I mean, we go back to the movie We Grown Now. That is what it was showing too. Like, man, a lot of it. I remember a summer when damn near everybody joined gangs. I remember we went from being kids to like,
yeah, bro.
And we talking about 11 or 12. Yeah. And I had my dad, so I didn't have to make that type of choice.
Right.
Some cats had no, man, for real. And so like it's a real thing. So I think just finding mental health and therapeutic ways to help young people is very important to me.
I think Chicago is like the perfect place for festivals to come back now. Like we've lost 2, right? Like everybody's like attention was on Hyde Park Summerfest that's not coming back, and the the Silver Room not coming back. So to see a comedy festival come and then the film festival come, like it's not just music that we can use our, our businesses and our space for. And I think that's the other brilliant part, that it's not just in one location, that it's showing love to different venues, lounges, restaurants, the DuSable Museum. I can see people traveling in from across the country to attend for the week. And that's where I want to see.
Well, we got a gang of comics coming from out of town.
What an after party at is what I want to know.
Which, that stuff we're gonna be, like right now we're focused on. It's funny, for real, the party stuff, because you got to be careful about that.
Yeah,
I think we made sure we kept our attention on comedy, but come on, we talking about it's Chicago, so it's gonna
somebody gonna throw.
There's gonna be some niggas about what's funny after party. Like,
you already know Don Ski got one. You know what I mean?
You already know. Don Ski. And you know the flyer guy gonna be at work too though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So funny. Yeah, that's real tough. We like fuck it if they got an unofficial. What's funny after party? That's by one of the comics that really had one 5-minute set. Like,
you gonna be on a plugger.
Like, who the fuck is this thing?
Hey, so question. with this festival, we're talking about Chicago comics, right? Where's D-Ray? Right? Where's Dion Cole? Like, are they trying to get involved? Did you reach out?
No, that's a good question. Like, so with this first year, I had to be really careful about who I asked favors from, right? Because me and Knowledge is, basically coming out of pocket with this shit. The year one is your proof year, your proof of concept.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily get the sponsors year one. They come after they see that you can do this shit. You know what I'm saying? And so we just had to be really smart. Like, we got Sherry Shepard coming, who Sherry called me and asked to do this. And I thought that was beautiful.
Hey,
so like Dion, let me show, first of all, shout out to Dion and D-Ray, who like look out for me all the time. We all talk, we all in the same group text. I mean, crazy part, all of us in the same group text. That includes Corey Holcomb, but he don't talk in the group text no more.
I wasn't gonna say that, but hopefully y'all figured that shit out.
No, not really, but it's all good. We're all brothers, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons why even some of the panels we're gonna talk about. One of the panels we're doing at the festival is comedy beef. We're gonna talk about it.
That's dope.
I want to see that.
We're gonna talk about does it belong? Has it always existed? And especially with all the Club Shay Shay stuff, and then it's just a lot of.
I was so proud of you, man. Mid-series thought he started roasting Katt. I said, that man is so Chicago.
Yeah, but at the same time,
I wake up roasting people, bro.
I roasted him because I kept it comedy, right? I also gave him his props.
You did. You definitely did.
But the older guys hear differently. I don't know what the fuck they hear. You know what I mean? They'd be like, "Nigga, I gave you love. It wasn't. I was just talking shit like we all talked when we used to be in the lobby at fucking comedy shows." Mm-hmm. That's what I took it to, and then literally gave everybody their props and their due. So like for anybody to be offended, I mean that's what made the shit weird with Cory. It was just like, and I've never really talked about it because I was like, you kind of gotta ignore bullshit.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You can't participate in it. It's like
can't nurture it, can't grow it. Yeah.
And I had to pray about that. God was like, come on, bro. You don't jump in the pig pen. You don't belong in that.
Yeah.
And so I didn't. I ain't want to be in no muddy pig pen. Shit, I'm doing too much. But that one was a little weird because that is a big brother. And I didn't say anything to offend him, but I was like, ooh, that was triggering to that nigga.
Mm. Is it fair to say what somebody shouldn't be offended by?
I didn't say anything about him. You got offended by a general statement. I didn't say anything directed to him. And so that's what I'm saying. You don't know what's triggering to people. Like everybody got their own fucking triggers. The only thing I ain't like about the Cory shit, man, you can roast me, you can talk shit, but just bring in my kids, my fiance. And it was weird too, because it was like, I'm getting calls from cousins and shit from here. Like,
they ready to ride.
But that's the Chicago story too, because I got people, he got people, right? Then we do this dumb, stupid shit where motherfuckers is getting hurt for some shit like that.
Perpetuate the cycle, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because
they can get that so quick too.
Easily, because we all got somebody.
Now.
Somebody loves me.
We all got a crazy motherfucker who ain't got shit to lose.
Right.
That's true.
And that's how that cycle goes on. That's how motherfuckers keep getting murked and shit like that and dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was glad I was able to it was talking motherfuckers like niggas like, yo. And but that's the one thing I didn't like.
That yo was a whole sentence without
bro.
Yeah,
it's like yo. But
man.
That's I didn't respect that shit because I would have we seen publicly the stuff he has going on and shit like that. I'm not doing that, bro.
Right.
But that's also too, I mean, if I could be honest, and this is the only time I'm gonna say this shit, but I could tell who are not true, real fathers. No real father gonna play like that. A real father and a grown ass man, I don't give a fuck what we beefing about. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's gangsters that don't attack people's fucking kids and family. So it's like, I'm like, well, I mean, I know he ain't got no Father's Day cards coming anytime soon. So it made sense.
Something was coming, man.
No, yeah. I mean, nigga,
I wasn't ready. I thought
he was on brand for the, based off the type of dad he's publicly has said he is.
Yeah. He is, yeah.
Well,
brother, shooby the dobos. Makes sense.
Let's lean into your nerdiness, man.
Wait,
Shooby the bobos. There you go. Let's lean into your nerdiness a little bit, man. In spirit of the Olympics, if you had to put together an American comedy team, not knowing other comedians around the world, if you had to put together an American comedy team and go out here and get gold, man, run these names down.
Ooh,
we get 5 people? How many people?
Well, is it people who? I guess if we do on like the 2024, right? If currently,
it's your list.
It's your list, bro.
It's your list.
Don't get them out the grave, though, okay?
That's what I'm saying.
Don't get them out
that's fair. That's fair.
Don't resurrect nobody, bro.
Yeah.
It's not Easter. Don't.
You get one zombie. You get one zombie.
Let me tell you something. It's some greats out here, but let's just go with some beasts, though. Like Ali Sadiq.
Okay.
Ali is on one, man. He's right now, I think he's a generational storyteller. I went and saw him live, man. And this was in LA. You could tell them niggas was from Compton, you know what I mean? But when I tell you they was sitting there eating it up, man, him just sitting on a stool telling a story. He told one story basically for an hour and some
That's
change.
genius, though, yeah.
And they were all into it. That's some greatness shit. So Ali Sadiq,
Right.
Miss Pat.
Right.
People sleep on Miss Pat. Miss Pat is
I fuck with our show.
That's their
her
loss.
show is great. She's turned into a voice. You know what I'm saying? Other people, really. I definitely throw myself on there.
Cheat code.
And we talking about this is the Olympics, so we have to have some, versatility. Gerard Carmichael.
You go.
And you know who would be our fucking, that person that if this is a relay, Earthquake, man. That motherfucker is just a great comic.
Yeah.
Like he always rips. Like, and then to watch him start to talk, like his last special that Dave Chappelle produced, what I loved about it so much is that Quake could talk political shit and make it fucking hilarious and relatable as fuck. And I can't wait till he leans into that more. I tell Quake all the time, I'm like, Quake, you on some other shit, because you still funny. And you throw in shit about politics and shit like that. That brother, he's one of the greatest to ever do it. Shout out to Earthquake, man.
Do we have a random white boy? You know how the white boy that walk in the gym, they got handles,
you in the blue
and that, you know what I mean? That can just jump out the gym.
You do that, though.
Right? Your Matt McClung's, your Rex Chapman's of
Matt
the world.
McClung.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Don't talk to him no more.
I fucks with Matt McClung. Shout out to Matt.
You should
man.
not.
I fucks with him, man.
I watch a lot of comedy, so it might be a gang of them. And that's why, and we said Olympics, so it's tough. We don't know if this was a basketball team or...
Right.
I kind of did it like a relay team, maybe.
Okay, the 4x4.
Yeah, that's what I just did. But it's a game.
You know it's 5 people.
So many fucking white comics, man. Like Burke, who do I start with? Because there's people I have personal favorites, like my boy Josh Rabinowitz. I probably never
Didn't
heard
mention
of him.
okay.
But we actually did our show together, Friends of the People, the sketch series I was on. But that dude, when I tell you, he's like, if Michael J. Fox did stand up, that is who that motherfucker is. And he's a brilliant writer. He helped create my sitcom too with me.
Nice.
Okay.
That motherfucker's he's so fucking
That says a
funny.
lot.
I've never, when I remember when I first saw him in New Faces at a festival, at Just for Last Festival, I was like, this motherfucker's like a funny Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox had this cool, awkward shit. And he was doing with comedy with that. I ain't never seen no shit like that. But yeah, that's one, and also one of my favorite people. Dude, there's so many fucking people. Oh, God.
We got Gary Owen out there. Bill Burr?
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
You like him. He's
I
pretty
fuck
funny.
with Bill Burr.
He don't really miss me.
No. Bill Burr
don't miss me.
is... Bill Burr doesn't fucking miss.
You don't miss, man.
Bill Burr and Patrice O'Neal. If we just go,
there you go.
fucking
There you go.
legends.
Yeah. Can't bring him back.
Let me tell you why I love Bill Burr, and this is so interesting. I ain't gonna be that honest, but
No, be on, you on the corner.
I like that Bill Burr stays to his whiteness.
That
Yes.
part.
He doesn't try to cater to us. He is who the fuck he is.
You don't Eminem it.
You know, he doesn't doing that. Like, and maybe I should call it whiteness. Maybe just like the way he grew up.
That's
You know
what
I'm
it
saying?
is. That's what it is.
I mean, he got some cool shit about him because he got a beautiful black wife. You know what I mean? That's Bill Burr played the drums, all type of shit.
That's all black shit.
But let me tell you, but let me tell you what I knew was brilliant. Man, Jamie Foxx used to do a festival called Jamie Foxx Laugh-A-Palooza, which was really dope.
Remember that?
And I wish it could have kept going, but that's to me inspiring for us to do this.
Y'all can take that over.
But that's what we're trying to do. And Bill Burr, I'm talking about crowd black as fuck. Man, hearing that nigga talk about that Detroit fight. You remember
The Malice in the Palace?
Man,
That's what you call
he
it?
had us
Yeah, that's
in.
the name of it. The Malice in the
Every
Palace.
black person was in tears because it had just happened. He's probably the only motherfucker that successfully did a
That's
joke
fresh
about it.
material.
You can go, I think you go on YouTube and see it. Man, when I tell you, after that, I was like, ain't nobody. Even when he did, people forget Bill Burr did Comic View in Atlanta
He did.
and killed it. I ain't never seen this motherfucker
watch
not
that.
kill. Like, that dude is fucking brilliant. Matter of fact, I put him on the
Yeah,
team.
put him on the team.
You got a basketball team now, though. You know it, right?
Yeah, I do. Because
got a Who squad
I
now.
love Bill Burr. And that's why it's tough for me. I watch a lot of comedy, so it's hard for me to really list. I think now for me, I'm trying to make sure I give our comics their due because they don't get to do as much as everybody else. But that motherfucker, Bill Burr and Earthquake, shit. They're like two of my favorite comics right now.
I'm really sick of people comparing.
And Wanda Sykes.
There you go. There you go. She been kind of dormant for a while to the public. I guess if you know what she do. I haven't seen her really.
Well,
like that,
her last special was nominated for an Emmy, which was
Tremendous.
fucking great. And let me tell you something. Goddamn.
though. Say it, man. We here.
But, you know,
What do you-
no, I remember I hit her up because I noticed something watching one of her specials.
Right.
I noticed a couple of things. And I was like, oh, I remember the light bulb went off. Like, this nigga was one of Chris Rock's writers. Had to be. Because she can make political stuff so funny. And some of the greatest bits we ever heard Chris Rock do was political stuff. And people don't know Wanda was one of his writers at one time. And I texted
didn't know
her.
that.
I was like, Wanda, damn, I just fucking heard it. Like, it was crazy when I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you can see when somebody ain't necessarily getting that same shit from the same people.
Yep.
That shit sound different.
Message heard.
But but
That's absurd.
Wanda Sykes is one of the greatest to do it. She was married to she had a husband. Now she got a wife.
Yeah.
And she's been able to talk about that shit at different times of her, whatever part of her life she in those specials, she talks about that shit. And I think that's fucking brilliant, man.
People get on rappers for having ghostwriters, but I know that comedians will work together, write jokes together.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
It's not taboo in the comedic world to have somebody write some jokes.
I think
for you.
it could be taboo. It's just we're not making it a thing. Now look, if Katt decided to start doing that shit going, these niggas got ghostwriters, and then but then he's gonna have to talk about the people he's hired. You know what I mean? But look, let me say this. Most of the time those guys are punching up the jokes they're already doing.
What does that mean?
That means like they've seen them do material and they like, hey, you could do this
Add
like
to
this,
it.
add this to this.
Take some
Okay.
away, yeah.
And so like, like Kev is already, had Harry and those guys, they help him
His
organize
squad,
and
yeah.
shit. Even Chris is very organized. That's one thing I love about Chris Rock is I'll never forget when I was opening for him, and I don't do this.
Who did you open for, man? Goddamn.
Man, I opened for some greats, bro. I've opened for Sid. Sid kicked me off his tour.
Uh-oh.
And I love Sid for doing that. I'll never forget when he set me down. I needed the money. I'm like, nigga. But he was like, no, I see you doing more, Rel. You're a headliner. I don't
that's
want
dope,
to. I don't
though,
want to
yeah.
hold you back. And I love him for that because after that, Sid has actually been like, shout out to Cedric the Entertainer. When I tell you great advice, this is one of the things I can't wait to talk about at the festival, at the panel. I never asked for like a handout or a phone call, any of that shit.
Right.
One thing you can give me is advice. You give me some
me some
fucking
game.
advice, I'll run with that shit. That's all I've ever wanted. And so like, I think that's why like, when Sid got a star on the Walk of Fame, which was so crazy, and he invited me, I was at his speech, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? I didn't know I was gonna be at his speech. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, like he's
All right.
the brother's just brilliant, and he's a good person. Like even when I first did my first sitcom, the Carmichael Show, and I never did a sitcom before. Sid had me come on the Soul Man set to see what the rehearsals and all that stuff looked like, and then set me down in the trailer to let me know how my timing should work with the studio audience. Sid is the reason why I was able to get all this stuff at the same time. At Kevin Hart's Heartbeat Festival, Sid set me down, was like, all right, this is how you should tell your team to do your contract so you can do more than one thing. It's all about the word. It was something Steve Harvey showed him, which is why you see them dudes do a bunch of stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's just put me on game. That's all I need.
That's free game on the corner of the day.
But people, when you know what's funny, you try to get people game, they still want you to hold their hand.
Yeah.
I think people have always looked out for me because I was like, give me the game. And I was like, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. You know, we appreciate your time, man.
Thanks for having me.
You know, Knowledge said we got to go. I'm snitching.
He kicking us out the compound.
Yeah, I'm snitching.
Now, is there anything that people need to know upcoming?
Look, the festival again, September 16th to the 22nd. We have shows and panels all week long. Our bigger shows are going to be at the DuSable Museum, where we're going to be honoring Mary Lindsay, who owns Jokes and Notes. We got a surprise that we're going to announce soon that even one of our new sponsors is going to be fucking crazy. We're excited. And then I'm taping my special. And we got Sherry Shepherd.
That's the one. That's the part right there.
Like, this is going to be a crazy, crazy weekend. So don't get your tickets last minute. As soon as you see this, hear this, go get your tickets. Go to www.whatsfunnycomedyfestival.com and get your tickets and all the info you need.
Facts.
We out.
Peace, y'all.
Thank you.